I am grateful for the many wonderful things that happened in 2017, and I am starting the flashback here with a trip to my original country, the Philippines, in April. Velkommen, Falcons, or welcome, folks! We booked a condo for rent in BGC, Taguig City, and while we were there, I got a chance to do some personal things like meeting family and friends before going to the province of Cebu. We went to surprise a niece of mine in Manila in her acoustic gig, dined with old friends and close relatives, caught by surprise with a Lenten activity in Bonifacio Global City, or BGC, and experienced the mini Venice of the gig. The highlight of the Manila stay was, believe it or not, the scooter driving course in Honda in Parañaque. I was determined to get my certificate since I was not able to take the final test when I left in 2014. Although I already have my license in Norway, and even if I don't drive a scooter at all. Crazy, I know, but I wanted to achieve my goal. And I did it! Mission accomplished! Then it was time for relaxation with family in Cebu. We rented a car to drive around Cebu City and other nearby places. The hometown of my mother, Medellin, was the first stop, which was also the site of our wedding in 2014. We were also able to celebrate our third wedding anniversary on the same resort with bibingka and ensaymada as our cake. Our second stop was Bantayan Island, not far from Medellin. Then we took a small boat ride to the Virgin Island after a day or two, and the beach there was so much better than in Bantayan. The third stop was Mualbual, where we had our first ever diving experience. But alas, there was no underwater camera when we dove in the sea. Then our gang explored a little bit more of Cebu, both the main city and the mountainside. See how hubby enjoyed swimming in the river. A couple of days later and we were back in the urban jungle and had post-anniversary dinner in Vikings restaurant in Taguig. I was glad that my husband chose Estonia in East Europe as our next foreign destiny in July. It was like a medieval fairy tale journey to me. We were in a museum that showed how the Estonians lived in the Middle Ages. We also experienced authentic Estonian food and music in Old Town restaurant, where I think I ordered bear meat. The capital city of Tallinn is also flagged with young musicians. They were in every corner. I saw some good shops and restaurants that are modern too. But my favorite was the bar we discovered in an alley called DM Bar. DM stands for Depeche Mode. Yes, the popular 80s British electronic new wave band. The bar only served drinks, where the menu was exclusive to Depeche Mode song titles. My drink was made of gin and cranberry juice, and it's called Just Can't Get Enough. Tallinn is close to Finland and Russia, and I saw this big ship dock with another one approaching, signaling how busy it was there. There was no chance, however, that we could visit any of the two cities from two different countries at that time. So much to do, so little time, as they say. Well, it's okay. Estonia was very special anyway, because the country was very close to my mother-in-law's heart. She donated hundreds of pairs of woolen caps, mittens, socks, etc. that she knitted herself and then sent to one city in the countryside, aside from the used clothes that she collected from family and friends. Bless her soul! Just a few days after we came home, with jet lag and all, we were on the road again to maximize our summer vacation. August was mainly for Ålesund and Geiranger in Norway's northwest, but we visited a few other new places along the way. It was our second time in Ålesund, but this Scandic hotel was a new discovery to us. Our room was just more or less a meter above the seawater. It was stunning to look at the boats and the historical buildings around the fishing harbor up close, by the window. The Geiranger village is famous for its fjord and mountain scenery. Many huge cruise ships drop by with tons of tourists every year. Just like Tallinn, the Geiranger Fjord is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Be on the boat to experience with your own two eyes how majestic the mountain peaks, waterfalls, and the fjord look like. I imagine how dramatic the trip could have been if we sailed in this vintage ship. It was a long drive back home and very tiring because of the few stops we did to see new places, but it's alright. I mean, how often do you get to pass by divers in a small lake like they were exploring something? This was in Tallinn, where remains of the old road and some foundations of the farmhouses are underwater. In the same community lies Hotel Union Øye, famous and always fully booked. Equally enchanting was to see these small houses or huts. It reminded me of the Hobbits film. Then it was another stopover in Sundalsøra Center, a place for those who love to ski and hike because of its surrounding captivating mountains. The town of Åndalsnes has this interesting architecture called Norsk Center, or the Norwegian Mountaineering Center, which just opened in 2016. We didn't go in, but outside, just right at the back of the modern edifice, was also interesting as we watched local folks fishing in the fjord. Like the neighboring areas, the region of Sunnmøre is blessed with fantastic nature with Alps and fjords. Its largest city is Ålesund, but Sunnmøre itself has its own serene beauty, catering to the nature trippers. We stayed overnight in this simple Hotel Stranda before heading back to Namsos. Do you think it's worth the long drive, including the transfers on ferries, to see more of the country? Don't you find marking the local map fascinating? Traveling can be tiring, but all the surprises that come along the way, whether big or small, are all worth it. Thank you for joining me on this flashback journey. Mwah!